Hello there, my friends. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are well. So today what we're going to be doing to my scaler in preparation for Crawl for a Cure is we're going to be installing a proper chassis mounted servo kit from RC4WD here. The reason I'm doing this is because the chassis mounted servo setup that I had built custom for this truck was just really total trash. It worked for the time being, but it just really wasn't, it just didn't meet my needs or my standards of quality, basically. And it worked in the meantime, like I said, but I want something better. So I got this RC4WD one here. Here's the part number if you are interested. Based on what I see, it looks pretty good, pretty complete, and really does cover everything. So the servo that I'm going to be using with it is this Savox waterproof SW1010SG. This is probably one of my favorite waterproof servos out there. It's got metal gears. They're not super expensive. I mean, mind you, they are like $80 a piece, something like that, I want to say. But still, for the money, you get a strong servo, metal gears, it's waterproof. I mean, as you can see, this one's covered in mud and dirt and other gunk, so I mean, it's been well loved. So yeah, last time, if you didn't see that, be sure to go check that out. We installed this rear cantilever suspension. I'm really happy with that, by Yeah Racing and Dinky RC. So let's just go ahead and tear into this packaging here and see what we got. Alright, let's see. Super excited here. Alright, we got rod ends, some long ones, some short ones, and some bent. A bunch of screws. We've got the axle mounts for the Panhard and the upper links, or upper link, I should say. And the other parts in this bag here, which are, let's open this up. Got a few different length links, which the instructions I'm sure we'll go over. We've got the actual servo mount itself right here, with the Panhard mount on the bottom right there. And we also have the chassis brace here, which is basically the same as the stock one right here. As you can see, this one's like a U shape, and this one is just an L. There you go. And that's because the actual servo mount gets in the way of the other side of this arm, or like the one that would normally be over here on the stock. And then of course instructions, which I'm going to go ahead and take a look at right now, so I can tell you guys how to actually put this thing together. Alright, step one. We're going to be installing this axle bracket for the Panhard bar here, and the upper suspension link. So let's see, this is going to go on like this. So the Panhard will be towards the passenger side of the vehicle, if you are, of course, in the US or other places of such. And to secure that onto the axle, you're going to be using these cap head screws, 3x14mm cap head screws, included with the kit. It's just going to thread through the front holes and screw right on like that. Okay, next we're going to use a 3x6 cap head screw, also included here, this little guy, and it's going to go right here. So it's going to just screw down into the axle like so. Okay, next step is to assemble the links. So what we have here, these two are the 64mm links that come with the kit, and along with short ball ends and M3 threaded like set screws, basically. This one down here is a 78mm link. The kit actually comes with 4 links when you really only need 3. This one here is a 70, so basically it's the 2 shortest and the longest in the kit. Keep in mind also when you're putting together the long one, that one side will have a bent rod end, as you can see there. It's bent a little bit. And one end will have a longer one than compared to these. So you've got a long one, a long and a bent on the long link, and then short ones all around on the short links. to save yourself a little bit of trouble when you're putting them together, the set screws here actually have a little Allen key in the end. So what you're going to do is you're going to thread that into your rod end with your screwdriver, which makes it a lot easier. So then you're not having to use pliers and all that stuff. So basically just go ahead and put these together and we'll keep going. Alright, with our links all put together, the first one we're going to be installing is this guy here, the one with the longest one with the bent rod end, which is the top link, or is the upper link in the front. Okay, so to install your upper link, you're going to get your M3 by 20 screw, and you're going to put it right through here. So right where your rock sliders will mount, and basically it'll go through the tranny plate also. Just screw that in probably about halfway. Now you're going to grab your link that we put together just a couple minutes ago. So the way this works is the bent part, the bent rod end, goes up to the top, near to the transmission. So put this on like this, somewhat behind the drive shaft like so. You guys can't really see, but I put it on the screw. We'll just let that rest there, and we're going to grab an M3 lock nut, which was not included, but is stock on the SCX10, because that's how the stock links are held on anyways, is with screws through and lock nuts. Now that's screwed on up there, let's move down to the axle. So this is just going to be an M3 by 10 millimeter screw that we're going to put right here through the ball and into that mount that we put on earlier. Just get that in there. It looks to me like this link here may run into the chassis up here a little bit, so I may end up flipping this to the other side depending on if it affects articulation too much, which it doesn't look like it will actually, which is good. That's actually good to know, or it's good to see that it doesn't look like it'll affect it. So with that screwed in, make sure you Loctite anything that's going into aluminum. Let's move on to the next step. Alright, the next piece that we're going to grab out of its bag is the chassis brace. So let's see, this is going to go in. Alright, yeah, so this is going to go in like this with the little sticky outy bit. That's a very technical term. Is going to go towards the front. So we're just going to kind of slide that in there. You're going to just put it in like this. Stretch the frame rails out a little bit. Like that. And now you're going to grab your shock hoops and the included M3 by 8 millimeter screws, and just screw your shock hoops onto this bracket here. Alright. And then it is time to grab the servo mount and start assembling that. Okay, so grab your servo mounts, and these little guys, not sure what to call them, but you know, your stock little mount bracket thingamabobs. So what's going to happen here is you're going to put an M3 by 8 cap head screw in this hole with the countersink in it, and then you're going to put this guy on there on the back, and then in the other hole you're actually going to use a button head rather than a flathead. So one of these, make sure they're facing down towards this little pointy guy, because your servo wall will actually be upside down on this. Okay, now what's going to happen is you're just going to mount up your servo right in there, just like that, as usual. And then we're going to go back over to the truck and install this little unit. Okay, so before we go and install this, I forgot to mention that you need to make sure that your servo horn is like on the same side as your Panhard mount. And before we go and install this, we're actually going to put the Panhard on with our 3x12 millimeter screws here. Just put that on. Again, make sure you Loctite. I'm just doing it all after the fact, because I'm not gonna do it on camera. So just screw that on, and now we're ready to go install this. Okay, so grab your M3 by 8 screws, and we're going to go ahead and attach our servo right on here, right over here with the screws. And then the other thing that I did notice is that there is a bit of a fitment issue with this guy, at least on these frame rails. If you guys are doing this, of course, on a regular old SCX10 with just plain old frame rails, you should be just fine. But as these are aftermarket rails, I'm running into a little bit of an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and figure that out, and I'll come back to you when it's ready to do the next step. Okay, it took me a few minutes, but I got it nonetheless. I needed to kind of drill out one of the holes a little bit just to get it to fit properly. So next what we're going to do, just grab an M3 by 10 millimeter screw, and we're going to secure this guy down here to the axle bracket that we put on first. Screw that in, and there we go. Now our suspension should be cycling properly, which it does appear to be, which is really nice. Very cool, I like that. Now, the last step is to attach our steering link to the servo horn and the steering knuckle. So I've already got a servo arm on here, so I'm just going to take that off. Switch it out. I'm just going to use the same screw that I had before and simply just put that right back in there. And pretty much same for the top. Just unscrew whatever you've got and put on the new steering link. And there you are. There's the RC4WD drive chassis mounted servo and Panhard kit installed on my SCX10 here. It looks like it's going to be a really good system. It doesn't have too much like just straight vertical travel. Alright, my shocks are getting in the way here, but just as far as straight vertical travel goes, it looks pretty good. And articulation is decent, so I'm looking forward to using this over the weekend. Hopefully I get to see some of you guys out there at Crawl for a Cure. It's a great cause, supports breast cancer research and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much going to be it for me, guys. Thank you all for watching part 3 of my crawler preparation, or my scaler preparation even. So yeah, if this is the first video that you've happened to see by me, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned with other cool projects. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of this, if this is a chassis mounted servo kit that you would consider getting for your SCX10. Be sure to follow Crawl for a Cure RC on Instagram. It's literally just that. I'll put it in the description down below, along with their website and my Instagram, which of course is highway49_RC. So, thank you all again so much for watching. I hope to see you guys out there this weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video, where we will just kind of put everything back together and get this thing ready to go. So, see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.